83 degrees right now in Houston, and that only tells part of the story. We had these clouds overnight, really trapped in the heat. You combine that with the southerly wind pumping in that Gulf moisture, and it leads to a very hot and very humid day on the way. Cold front arriving on Saturday. You get your chance of rain with that front, and then that front just dissipates. It doesn't really clear us out like a strong cold front will do. This low pressure that we've been watching, it's just off the coast, but the flow around that low is counterclockwise, and it's pushing in that Gulf moisture, essentially bringing in bands of showers and storms. Some super temperatures on the way, so let's boop, boop. Is that the there we go. By
Kevin
10
Roth.
66. By 2 o'clock, we're in the low 70s. Bring. By 7, it's upper 60s. And yes, we will see a little bit of sunshine, especially early.
I like that.
But Mario's going to come. He's going to knock that out. We are all winners today.
That's true.
We are all champions today.
Feeling good today. It's a
We're
good
just
day.
going to go right here.
So Kevin just gonna bust out the guns.
That's
real
right. It's not quite sun's out, guns out, because there's no sun. I also have my eyes on the tropics. We are entering peak hurricane season, and the tropics are showing it here. 2 areas of potential development in the Atlantic, plus another one in the Gulf of Mexico. Seen some big-time rains this morning, and that is causing some big-time travel issues as well. If we can pop up this traffic cam that we have, this is what's happening right now, the Gulf Freeway at Holland Road. You can see here those right lanes are blocked by the high water. It looks like maybe only one lane is squeezing by. And you have the kind of heat and humidity that we have in place. These little disturbances that roll through can fire off some strong storms, and that's what high-resolution forecast models are showing right now on Sunday. I'm keeping the coverage fairly low, 30%. So not everyone will see the storms tomorrow, but those that do, you could get under a fairly strong, even severe storm. Well, from extreme heat to extreme storms, which is what we've been dealing with here, fairly widespread, starting to see that coverage increase, especially southeast of Houston. That's where we've seen the strongest of the storms. Flood advisories, flood warnings, flood watch in effect. It is another active day, and I know that's not what anybody wants to hear. Let's talk about where we're seeing those storms. Flash flood warning here. This is for Galveston Island, stretching all the way along the Bolivar Peninsula from Crystal Beach down to Jamaica Beach, and it's for inland parts of Galveston as well. Texas City is included in this. This goes until 7 o'clock. These are areas where we have picked up over 3 inches of rain, and as you move a little farther inland, those rainfall totals really climbing. This is the warning that was just extended from the National Weather Service here until 7:45 for League City, Dickinson, San Leon, Kemah, Santa Fe is included, Alvin is included. These are the areas that picked up 5, in some cases 6+ inches of rain. That's where the truly most hazardous conditions are. That's where we've been seeing some of those water rescues, numerous vehicles stalled out as well. And as you kind of zoom out around Galveston Bay, you can get an idea for where the heaviest of the rain has been, and it is on essentially all sides of Galveston Bay. Just on the east side of Baytown here, 5.5 inches of radar estimated rain has fallen. 7.5 between San Leon, Texas City, and Dickinson. That's that really, truly dangerous, life-threatening flooding. And then as you start to move to the Bolivar Peninsula, about 2.5 inches of rain has already fallen. In all of these areas, rain is still falling, and more rain will continue to fall. Along with our flash flood warnings, we also have flood advisories. That's just a step below a flash flood warning. If you need to drive, be extremely cautious if you're in one of these flood advisories. You can see that essentially all the way through Chambers County. That steady rain still falling in an area that has already seen significant rain. And that's what we're seeing farther north as well. This flood advisory has now been upgraded to a flash flood warning here. This is for parts of Jasper and Tyler County. This does include the west side of Livingston. It does include Lake Livingston here, just north of Cold Spring, an area where we are seeing significant rain. And then as you head a little bit farther southwest, this is just on the northwest side of town here from Houston, Hockley, Cypress, Tomball, all included in a flood advisory. We've gotten to the point with all of the rain that we've seen over the past few days that every thunderstorm essentially is triggering a flood advisory because the ground is saturated. There's nowhere in the ground for that water to go, so it becomes runoff, it ends up in our roads, and it creates very dangerous conditions. This cluster of showers and storms now pushing into the woodlands, making its way into 45 as well. So if you're in Conroe and you're headed down into Houston, you're going to be dealing with some heavy rain. The heaviest in this batch northwest of Houston, from Hockley to Cypress, right along 290, and then stretching into Tomball as well. In Houston, we are still seeing scattered showers, isolated storms, though we haven't quite hit that intensity and the peak and the coverage that we've seen farther southeast. You see a downpour right around downtown, more moving through Missouri City, all of that lifting up into downtown. It is an active morning, in case you couldn't tell. Grab an umbrella, be ready, give yourself extra time. There's going to be slick roads at best. There's going to be ponding on the roads at best. And in some cases where we're seeing those flood warnings, significantly more dangerous than just some ponding on the roads, as we're talking about some legitimate high water areas as well, south and east of town. Rain chances are highest through the morning. They'll start to taper off to around 40% in the afternoon. But even at that point, you've got the potential to see some very heavy rain. Yesterday's rains were so widespread, but it was very light. Today's rains are a different animal entirely, much heavier rain, but it's spottier activity. Not everyone will see the flooding rains today, but just about all of us have that chance, and all of us should be prepared for that potential as we move through the day. 9 a.m., I'll take you into noon, still some scattered showers and storms ongoing. You see the activity tapering off late afternoon and evening, but we're right back to it on Saturday morning. I expect another busy day tomorrow. Keep in mind, we've got that flood watch for most of southeast Texas. That goes through 4 o'clock today. Then the flood watch is dropped, but the rain chances continue through the weekend. Rainfall totals through the remainder of the day. You could still be talking about areas picking up 2-3 inches of rain along the coast. This model showing Angleton could still pick up an additional 4 or 5 inches of rain. Yes, it's active today and there's the flood risk, but Saturday and into Sunday, still rain ongoing here. Still going to monitor for the potential for some flooding as well. I've got a 70% chance of rain Saturday, 60% on Sunday. Then the rain chances start to taper off, and then the temperatures start to bounce back. Finally, some sunshine next week. I know everyone's asking me, when is the rain going to end? Well, the answer is as we move through next week, the sun comes back out, and temperatures still stay relatively mild, even in southeast Texas. In the extended forecast, we are headed to a great place next week. Highs in the low 90s, sunshine, a chance to dry out without being 100 degrees, but we're not there yet. We still have those elevated rain chances today, tomorrow, both ABC 13 weather watch days. Please be extremely cautious, in particular if you are under one of those flash flood warnings. I'll keep you up to date on all the latest as the situation continues to develop here throughout the morning. Guys.
Absolutely being cautious, but all I heard was we are heading to a great place.
I mean, look, you talk about 92 and sunshine is a whole lot better than what we've been dealing with over the past few days.